so we are in the last part of your buyer to offer persona workbook, and this is going to cover your messaging. This is kind of when we're going to start creating the skeleton of what you need so that you can craft your messaging from your buyer's perspective in relation to your offer. So, this again is going to help you create marketing and sales messaging that helps your buyer feel seen, heard, and understood. And it's going to be extremely helpful when you are trying to speak to your buyer and sell inside of your masterclass, sell inside of your content, your sales pages, wherever. Okay. So this is where we kind of get deeper into who this person actually is, right? We had the demographic, we had the positioning, but like, who is this actual person? And so you want to work with people that you actually enjoy. And this is going to help you get clear on who that is. And it's also going to help you with your tone of voice and kind of like how you're going to speak to them, right? So for example, I don't really like holding people's hands. I work with people who take initiative and are self-led. And the last thing that you want is, the right people inside of your offer, but with the wrong personality. Okay. So I promise that when you get clear on this, you're actually going to see these people show up inside of your offer. So the first thing that you're going to do is audience characteristics and personality. And the first thing is to list as many personalities or character traits of your dream customer. Okay, so this can include qualities like attitudes, behaviors, mindsets, and beliefs. And this helps you not only attract the right demographic in the right position, but it's also, again, going to make sure that they have the right characteristics and personality. So if you look at this example, let me see that I provided here. Just go through it. It's just a list of like who I think this person is and how they act. And again, most of the stuff that I get inside or put inside of my buyer to offer persona are my own characteristics, my own, positioning. I am pretty much my niche. So you can see things here that women who are self-led, women who lead, ready to buy, pay in full, people who can self-validate, people who lead first, and then, watch reality respond to them, finisher, go-getter, does the work, follows instructions, minimal guidance, I'm betting on me mindset, takes accountability. If I have a question, just answer it. They value time more than money, and so you just kind of go through these and see, okay, now that I know what this is, who is that for me? Okay. So the next thing is desires, and this is going to help you get sharp in speaking to their problems and desires without having to break down and explain every little detail of your offer, right? Because it's not about the details of your offer, it's about what's in it for them. So speak to their desires now that you know how they think from your survey. So from your survey, you can see, the way that they talk about the transformation. So you can take either the top roadblocks or problems and then combine them with the goals that they want to have. All right. And here are just some formulas that you can use to do that. So you can call out the industry, which is basically who you're speaking to, who'd rather desire, and then you insert here desire they want over what they're currently doing, and struggle to solve related problem on their own, no more related thing they hate. Okay, so that's kind of like one of the formulas. So to see what that kind of looks like is, okay, course creators or coaches who'd rather empower and lead than play marketer or sales guru on social media and struggle to figure out all of this lead generation and sales stuff on their own. No more chasing or begging for the sale. So I'm calling out the industry. I'm speaking to the desire that they want and speaking to the problem that they have, right? And not in a way that's sort of, digging into this pain point and then saying like, because of this, no more chasing or begging for the sale. And a lot of these answers I get from the buyer survey because this is what I find when I say, okay, looking at, their fears or their roadblocks. And a lot of them are saying like, I don't like chasing or begging for the sale. So no more doing that thing that they hate. Another formula you can use is you call out the buyer who's done, and then you list the problem that they hate and are ready to get that matching result. So this problem now gets this result so that they can then get the desire, right? So solve the problem, get the result, get to the desire. So women who are done undercharging and working by the hour, so that's the problem, and are ready to attract 50 to 100 leads a day consistently and predictably for their business. So that's the result that they want so that they can rest better at night knowing that the next day the calendar will be packed with inquiries about their service. So again, these are the desires that they have. So you can see here with these different formulas, and you can use this to speak to these desires, speak to these problems. And again, most of these I find from the buyer survey, which is why you should have organized your survey. And I am pulling out those responses and just plugging them into these formulas. Okay. So earlier we were able to identify the buyer's position. Now we really just want to have more details as to what this person, who this person is in regards to this position and what that actually looks like. Okay. This is why I say that it's very key to make sure that you sell something that you have embodied and have experienced, because it's going to make it so easy for you to be able to speak to knowing what it's like to be in this position, right? Actually, you can actually create different real life scenarios that you've had and tell about the different solutions that you've also experienced, and you can position in a way that they can relate to. All right. And so if you don't have the answer to this, you can also just conduct further surveys or interview people that fit your buyer persona so that you can get an understanding currently of like what their life looks like right now, like before obviously having your solution. And this is going to be really important, especially in your messaging, so that you're helping people feel seen because you're speaking and relating to where they are, but also help them weigh the cost of like, okay, well, I'm here, and if I don't solve this, like, where am I going to end up, right? And then help them understand that if they don't change, that they're either going to stay in the same place, but that's also staying in the same place is just as worse as like not doing anything. So it's not enough for me to just say to someone that has, who has an offer and they've been in business for a few years that, and just kind of say, okay, that's their position. Like they've been in business for a few years. Like that's not enough. Okay. I need to be able to describe what that person actually looks like and different real life scenarios that can support that. Okay. So questions you can ask yourself to help you fill out this section is what is their current situation problem, right? And we know what the problem is, and what is their cause for it? So just getting started, trying to solve their problem, but they lack the skill or knowledge, or they're in the middle of using another offer, but it's not working, or they're experienced but looking for something new because they still feel stuck. Okay, so I actually experience a lot of people that are in these different positions. What are they currently doing about their current situation? So you can find this answer from the buyer survey to say like the things that they've tried. That could, answer this. How long have they been trying to solve this? What impact is it having in their life right now? What do they say, think, and feel to themselves or others about their current situation? What is their version of the ideal solution for their current situation? So that could be the expectations that people had when they filled out the survey. What are they trying to avoid when it comes to finding a solution? So again, that could be the fears. What happens if they don't solve their current solution? This is very helpful for future pacing and helping them to see the consequences of not taking action, of not finding a solution, but again, not digging into the pain points that they have in a disempowering way. And is there someone that they make decisions with, like a spouse, a partner? And if yes, they do have someone, what information do you think that person needs to know about the particular situation or solution to their problem in order for them to feel like your solution is the right answer? Okay. So usually I just take the position of my buyer and then I break it down into further detail. So I go and I get this from the position section, I paste it in here. And more than likely, I'm using stuff from the survey. I also sometimes get on a quick little call with like past customers and ask them, where were you when you were just getting started, and kind of go through these questions. Or hopefully I find someone that isn't a customer yet, but like is my ideal customer. And then I can ask them these questions already. So you can kind of skim through these. So you can say they already know their audience. They already have an offer. They're making 20K months, but they usually sell with content and DMs and want to create an automated system so they don't have to sell all the time. They want their pre-recorded content to sell on autopilot. They understand that if they learn how to craft an automated lead to sales systems, it will grow their business exponentially faster. So again, I'm just speaking to their position as someone who is an impact-driven female coach creator who's been in business for 2+ years and wants to learn how to do this. I'm just going deeper into what that looks like, more in detail. Okay. So then this one is pretty straightforward. It's just basically who it's not for. So you simply list all the details of who your offer isn't for. So again, my offer doesn't help people with their offers or their audience. I don't actually help you find your audience. I only help you craft your offer messaging and your audience messagings. Okay. So you just, write what that is, right? I don't help you create a social media content strategy like pillars and things like that in this version of Follow to Sales. So you just basically make a list of who it's not for. Pretty straightforward. Then you have the immediate problem and relevancy. So what is the main problem and is it relevant to how you fix it in your offer? Review your buyer survey / offer persona for insight. This helps you make sure you know specifically what your buyer thinks about the main problem in relation to what you think as an expert. So as an expert, you figured out the main problem in your offer persona. So I just go over here and I paste it. And then from the buyer's perspective, I just go through my survey and see like the questions that are related to what they think like the problem that they have, the fears, the different roadblocks. And so I go and I can list that. And then of course I say here that yes, these problems are relevant to my offer. And then I kind of just write down how my offer actually goes through and solves each one of these problems. Because again, we're not speaking to the millions of different problems that they have. We're starting off by drawing them in, focusing on the main problems. Solving the other problems are just icing on the cake. All right. So now we're going to speak to their nightmares, their problems. We do want to know what these are, but again, we're not going to use them to create this feeling of lack. All right. So the main problem usually causes a host of other problems, aka nightmares. So review your buyer survey for insight on the fears, roadblocks, the things that they tried. You can also review your signature process and go through each section of your signature process and state the problems that it solves. So that's another way that you can find their nightmares. And then this helps you know specifically what your buyer thinks about their other problems in relation to what you think as the expert. Because again, you're doing this as the expert, but now that we have surveyed people, we want to see their perspective. Okay. So you can just see here, it's just a list of problems. They usually sell with content. They want an automated system. They can't get their head around landing pages, funnels, and I can't subscribe to bro marketing. Afraid of complex funnel jargon, tech and system fears, all of these things, and just go ahead and you list those. Okay. So the next thing is their heaven, which is their desires. And so these cover both logical and emotional side of things. And so this is going to be really helpful to address both emotion and logic-based buyers. If you don't really know the answers to this, again, that's okay. You just continue to survey people, you continue to interview people, but don't let this stop you from moving on to the next step of this course just because you don't have this answer yet, because you will be able to learn as you go. Also, this is important why you position the buyer as yourself, because again, a lot of these things that I have written in this section are things that I've experienced and things that I want. So it's very easy for me to say, speak about the heaven and speak about the nightmare because I've also lived it myself. So then when I do these surveys, I can assess the responses as a buyer and realize, oh yeah, like we are experiencing the same thing. And so I can further elaborate on what those scenarios actually look like. Okay. And so again, if you can't fully fill this out right now, it's okay. Do as much as you can and continue to move along. And then as you get more traffic, you gain more insight, you can come back and update this. So I'm just kind of listing the heaven of like speaking to the desires and the things that I know that they want, right? The benefits that I know they want to gain. And then I'm breaking it down from a logical perspective. So again, logical are kind of just more of the tangible things, the expectations, like the outcomes, and the emotions are the things that they feel, the things that they think, the false beliefs, things like that. Okay. So I'm just going in and I'm just listing those. So you can read that example to give yourself some perspective. Okay. And then the next thing, the last part of this is what they will have. All right. So this is similar to the offer persona where we talk about like at the end of this, you are going to walk away with an automated lead magnet and you're going to know how to put traffic in it. So list all of the extra things that they're going to have after your program is done outside of the main specific outcome. So it's not necessarily the transformation, right? It's that clear promise, it's that signature process. It's the things that they're going to get. So at the end of this course, they're going to have an automated sales funnel and know how to funnel traffic into it, right? But additional benefits that they get are repeatable, predictable, sustainable process. They'll have vision because they can finally troubleshoot and optimize their sale process. They're going to nurture, engage, make sales on autopilot, build an audience, use cold traffic with ease, bring in new leads, grow a massive email list, grow their social media, always sell when you're not selling, save time. So I'm just pulling out the things that they're going to have by the end of it. Not like, again, like the transformation. It's like the specific things that they're going to be able to do, the specific things they're going to be able to walk away with, but outside of the main specific thing. So, how you troubleshoot and optimize this is that if you find that a lot of people aren't really resonating with your messaging, then you can go back through each of these processes, test different styles of your messaging. Maybe you might need to resurvey people or interview them so you can have a new, fresh perspective on, how they're experiencing this problem and the transformation that you sell. Okay, so your homework for this lesson is to fill out this section of the workbook. And if you need help, reach out inside the VIP Facebook group or members only community. And I will see you in the next training.